Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of ECW Podcast. I have here with me Matt Cady from Adult Medicine of Lake County. He's here to speak with us about safety and compliance dashboard. Good afternoon, Matt, and welcome.
Well, thank you.
And before we get started, can you tell us a little bit about your organization, your practice? Just introduce yourself.
Sure. As you said, my name is Matt Cady. I'm with Adult Medicine of Lake County. We're about an hour north of here, or about 30 minutes south of the Villages. We have about 7,200 active patients, half on Medicare and half with commercial.
Fantastic. So, safety and compliance dashboard. It's underutilized, unheard of many times. Can you speak a little bit about that, how you heard about it and what motivated you to use it?
I think it's a huge unkept secret. I think it was maybe 3 or 4 years ago, walking through the National Users Conference. It was set up next to the information booth, and it was visually appealing. And most of the things we look at are blue hyperlinks and charts, and so it was very interesting.
Great. And also, I hear you've used it extensively. And how long have you been using it now?
I think we were one of the first people to have the product key turned on after that National Users Conference, and we started using it immediately.
Awesome. So, how was the implementation? Is that something that you wanted to highlight during the implementation, or it's pretty seamless?
No, once the product key goes on, like everything, you log out, log back in, and it's working. The first glance, it's probably a little scary because it does show a lot of data all at once, and up till now, there's never been a way to see that. But after the initial shock, you have a roadmap to get better.
Awesome. So, what KPIs have you most implemented? And can you speak to some of these key performance indicators that has helped you highlight certain gaps and inefficiencies at your practice?
So there is a plethora to choose from. And I think when you first log in, the best thing is to take a couple and start working on those, and take a couple more, adjust your workflow, and they'll only get better. A couple of my favorites would be abnormal results open more than 3 days. That's something that needs to be acted on quicker. Somebody could be out of office. Another one would be inaccessible results. With staff turnover and all the new portals and interfaces, a lot of times results can go someplace and we won't know that we don't have them until the office visit. So it may not be the lab company's fault. It may just be sitting in an old user. Telephone encounters. I'm probably the biggest culprit of this. I have a reason behind every one of them, but they really shouldn't be open more than 3 or 7 days. That's another one of my favorite indicators.
I agree with you. And also, how are you deciding, like in a sense that you pick these KPIs and do you assign it to certain staff for them to work on? Do you assess their performance?
So you can actually customize it by user. And so a lot of my departments have heads will be responsible for certain KPIs. And then the high level managers like myself, if we have an initiative, we can look at the KPI, use the EBO link to launch the data, and then have someone assigned to it and start working on it.
Wonderful. I have clients ask me, and maybe this is something you can throw a little bit more, insight into is how has this helped you assess your staff performance?
I think it helps tremendously with that. And the other thing you don't think about because it's just a static report, but it actually helps us be more proactive. Like I had mentioned, the missing lab results, we can find them sooner than the office visit. We're able to see, like I said, the abnormal lab results, things of that nature. But then as far as staff performance, once you have some visibility, you can start to build some accountability. And so things have gotten better. We now know if a custom medication is failing. We know if an interface is down long before our patients start calling us.
Wonderful. Now, can you speak to some of the gaps and inefficiencies that this dashboard has helped you highlight, and what changes you've implemented based on the gaps?
So probably the two biggest ones. One, we had a procedure schedule where we would do certain walk-in procedures, and we didn't realize that they weren't being locked, and in which case they weren't being billed. And it was one of the first things we saw in here, and we were determined it was wrong. There's no way we had that many unlocked encounters, and it turns out, well, it was right, and we were missing some money. So that was a huge eye-opener. The next biggest one would probably be out of office. People are going to come and go. People may have to leave on short notice. Knowing that they have something in their, maybe their lab jelly bean, their telephone encounters somewhere, it's pretty much critical.
Great. Now, you did mention something about initially you saw some bad data. And then later on, as you started using it, it started being more promising and I kind of want to bring it up because I know audience is like, well, I'm going to open it. it's gonna be overwhelming. It's gonna tell me I have like 100 telephone encounters or maybe more. What is the kind of mindset you would advise our clients to have?
I don't think it's bad data because it's really just your data. I think all of the catastrophic numbers represent basically an inefficiency or a workaround the office has come up with just to make do with eClinical. And as you look at it and the repercussions of it, it may be time to start doing it right. So you can jump into eClinical University, correct the workflow, and then you see your numbers get better pretty quickly.
Okay. Now, another question is, how has this dashboard impacted patient safety and compliance?
The biggest thing is prior to now, you didn't know what you didn't know. You could go hunting around for some EBO reports. You could set them to customize and send to you every week, but you didn't know what you didn't know.
Right.
This bringing everything up to the surface in a quick, easy to understand, really fast read format, and then being able to drill down to EBO is really increased patient, not only safety, but satisfaction.
Absolutely, 100% agree. Because I think one other thing that most clients are hesitant about is, well, is this going to impact my workflow? Is it going to impact my staff, what they're doing? Am I adding more to their plate? But from what you're saying, it's actually reducing their work.
You're going to deal with it one way or the other.
Yeah.
I'd rather know that the prescription we just sent didn't make it to your pharmacy than wait for you to get to the pharmacy,
Yep.
call me back twice to let me know it's still not there, or whether it be that or a lab result or, God forbid, an abnormal result.
Yep.
I definitely think it's a huge, huge improvement.
So, what is your favorite KPI? You did mention telephone encounters, but I know it's more than one. So, what are those KPIs that you want to tell our audience that you have to implement, and you're going to see remarkable change in your practice efficiency?
I think contextually it depends on where you are in your organization and maybe what your organization's suffering from. But the telephone encounters to me are one of the biggest ones because we were using telephone encounters for everything. And that's not what they were designed for. We should have been using actions. We should have been using a lot of other things. So just that one KPI spawned a lot of workflow changes that have definitely made us better. So I'm going to say that's probably my favorite one and probably one of the easiest ones to tackle.
Wonderful. For those of you wondering, this dashboard comes at no cost, okay? You can have it activated and you can start using it right away. So if you want to learn more about it, speak with your account manager or your business development manager. We can get you started and you can start utilizing it right away. Well, thank you so much for being here with us. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your insights. And I bet after this podcast, many of them will want to start using it right away.
I can't wait to see a KPI on that.
Right. Thank you. We will try our best to get that going.
Thank you.
You very much. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another episode of podcast. We'll see you soon. Cheers.